The widow of a fallen Michigan State police officer says she wants to help others as part of her late husband's legacy.
Michigan State Police motor carrier officer Daniel Kerstetter died after he was hit during a traffic stop. Well, now his wife has been working to send a message to Lansing about the need to take care of the people who protect others. 7 investigator Heather Catallo is here now to help raise the voice of a grieving mother who's determined to make something good come from something tragic. Heather.
This is so important to her. MSP motor carrier officers have a dangerous job. They have to do everything from pulling over semi-trucks along busy highways to helping with homeland security issues. Even though they risk their lives every day, their benefits are not the same as the state troopers they serve with. And that's why Katie Kerstetter has been on a mission to change that.
There isn't a moment that goes by that Katie Kerstetter doesn't desperately miss her husband, Danny.
Everyone says good things after someone dies, right? But Danny really was the best.
Michigan State Police motor carrier officer Daniel Kerstetter was killed in September after a woman driving an SUV slammed into the back of his police vehicle during a traffic stop along I-75 in Lincoln Park. In an instant, Katie's entire life shattered.
Amazing person, amazing father, an amazing husband, a partner in everything. It's a huge void. Huge.
Katie says just days before the crash, she and Danny had finally gotten their youngest into school, and they were structuring their work schedules to make sure one of them could always be with all 3 kids.
They had all started school that week, which was just life-changing, right?
But shortly after Katie got to work on September 13th, one of her husband's state police colleagues appeared at her door.
I almost just fell to my knees because I knew what that means. And he came in and he told me that Danny had been hit.
Katie says when she got to the hospital, doctors let her see Danny in the ER.
She said he had a small brain bleed. He's beaten up, but we thought, it's alert, it's gonna be fine.
But Danny was not fine.
She starts giving me all this medical jargon. I'm like, listen, just tell me. And she said, he has blood all over his brain, that the prognosis is not good. And I think I just collapsed.
Katie had to take her husband off life support after fulfilling his wish of being an organ donor. And now she's working to honor another of Danny's wishes.
I ask you to please take care of the people who take care of you and just to do what's right. It's very simple.
Despite her constant grief, Katie is spending hours fighting to get several bills that were passed in the final hours of the last legislative session sent to Governor Whitmer's desk so they can be signed into law.
This is what he would want. So whatever I can do for them, I will be there. I will be knocking on doors. I will be testifying.
Katie says when she encouraged Danny to change careers and follow his dream of serving as a police officer, they did not realize when he entered the state's Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Division that he would have different benefits than state troopers.
The risk is all the same, right? And I think any trooper and anyone will tell you they weren't afraid of getting shot. They weren't afraid of anything like that. They were afraid of getting hit.
One of the bills that passed would allow MSP motor carrier officers, State Department of Corrections officers, conservation officers, and others the option of buying into the troopers' pension program, a benefit she calls essential for many in law enforcement who don't make enough to contribute to their 401ks.
These people do it not for the money. Clearly, they need good police officers. And how are you going to get good people, if you don't pay them what they should be paid and you just don't treat them well?
But the bills have been caught in limbo for weeks. They never got presented to the governor at the end of 2024. And when the House leadership changed in January, House Speaker Matt Hall put 9 of the passed bills under legal review.
This is case number 25-14.
So the Senate sued the House over the stalled bills.
These bills were enrolled. They were ready to be presented on January 8th. And but for the unconstitutional order of the Speaker, they would have been presented.
At the end of those 2 years, the old legislature's business ceases to exist. That old legislature can't bind a future legislature.
That's not what this situation is, right? This is business that was finished, and now you have this constitutional mandate to present it to the governor.
Meanwhile, Katie Kerstetter says she's fighting to keep Danny's memory alive for their children,
They're the ones that have lost out in this.
and she'll keep fighting for her husband's colleagues.
If I can help his colleagues and all police officers, get treated the way they should be treated and compensated the way they should be compensated, then, it's not all for nothing.
Just a couple of hours ago, Judge Patel issued an order saying the state constitution is clear that the passed bills do in fact need to be sent to the governor. Among the 9 bills that had been held back are legislation that would improve health care costs for thousands of state employees, including the motor carrier officers and other members of law enforcement. I talked to Katie this afternoon. She's obviously extremely grateful with the judge's order. It does remain to be seen if the other side will appeal this decision to the Supreme Court. We'll, of course, keep you posted on that, but some relief, at least for right now.
At least for right now, but how's she making it? I mean, she's just hanging on.
She's hanging on, but she's very determined to fight for all of his colleagues.
And she's using that pain to really make a difference. It's pretty remarkable.
It is.
And you're fighting for her, which is good. Thank
Thanks,
you,
Heather.
Heather. Wow.